James Duncan Hamilton was born on April 30th, 1920, in Cork, County Cork, Ireland. He was brought up in relative obscurity. During the Second World War, he flew Lysanders in the Fleet Air Arm. After the war ended, he opened a car garage. During the years between the war ending and the start of the 1950s, Hamilton started racing in local events. He began racing in such cars as the MGR Type and the Bugatti Type 35B. After racing a Maserati 6CM in 1948, Hamilton began driving a Talbot Lago Grand Prix car. Hamilton participated in 5 World Championship Grands Prix and 18 non-championship Formula One races. His Grand Prix debut was at the 1948 Zandvoort Grand Prix, where he placed 4th with a Maserati 6CM. However, at his last race of 1948, the RAC International Grand Prix, the first official post-WW2 British Grand Prix, he retired with oil pressure problems. Throughout the 1949 Grand Prix season, he only suffered 1 retirement. However, he didn't finish higher than 9th. He managed this feat twice, with both times being at Goodwood. The following season, he competed in fewer Grand Prix races, while he expanded his racing experience by racing sports cars. He won the Wakefield Trophy, a minor Formula Libre race, held at Curragh in the Republic of Ireland. He finished 3rd in the 1951 Richmond Trophy, ERA B Type, 2nd in the 1951 BRDC International Trophy, Talbot Lago T26C, 3rd in the 1952 Richmond Trophy, Talbot Lago T26C, and 4th in the 1952 Internationals ADAC Eifelrennen, HWM Alta. Hamilton was known for his skilled driving in wet weather. At the BRDC International Trophy race at Silverstone in 1951, he beat world champion Juan Manuel Fangio, finishing 2nd to Reg Parnell. He took part in the 24 Hours of Le Mans endurance race 9 times, most famously in partnership with Tony Rolt. The pair finished 4th at their first attempt in the 1950 race and 6th in 1951, both times in a special-bodied Nash Healey coupe. Their Jaguar C-Type did not finish in 1952, but they returned with a C-Type to win in 1953. They were 2nd with a Jaguar D-Type in 1954, losing to a much larger-engined V12 Ferrari. They came within 2 miles of victory, with Hamilton having the lead of the Scuderia Ferrari of José Froilán González and Maurice Trintignant in the final stages of the race, as the track was awash following a cloudburst. As the track started to dry out, the Ferrari maintained the lead. He did not finish in 1955. In 1956, Hamilton partnered Alfonso de Portugal in a Ferrari, but again did not finish. In 1957, he reverted to a Jaguar D-Type and partnered with the American driver Maston Gregory to finish 6th. His last Le Mans appearance was in 1958, when the D-Type he shared with Ivor Bieb failed to finish. Hamilton also won the 1956 Reims 12-hour race for Jaguar with a D-Type co-driven by Ivor Bieb. Despite the win, the factory dropped him from their 1956 Le Mans roster for speeding up and passing teammate Paul Frere's car at Reims, when Lofty England had ordered the entire team to slow down, hence his switch to a Ferrari that year. In 1957, Jaguar did not enter Le Mans as cars and equipment had been destroyed by a fire at the factory. Instead, Hamilton used his privately owned D-Type. Hamilton won the 1953 event in a Jaguar C-Type shared with Rolt. Initially, the pairing were disqualified for practicing in a Jaguar that had the same racing number as another on the circuit at the same time, but they were reinstated. According to Hamilton's own account, when Jaguar team manager Lofty England persuaded the organizers to let them race, both drivers were already drunk in a local bar. England said, "Of course I would never have let them race under the influence. I had enough trouble when they were sober." When the race was underway, the team tried to sober Hamilton up by giving him coffee during the pit stops, but he refused it, saying it made his arms twitch. Instead, he was given brandy. He also struck a bird face first at 130 miles per hour and broke his nose. Despite the circumstances, The duo went on to win the race and recorded the first 100 miles per hour average speed at Le Mans. Both England and Rolt have denied that they were drunk. On one occasion in 1947, he was transporting his MGR Type to the Brighton speed trials. While going down a hill near Guildford, he saw the splendid honeycomb radiator of a Bugatti in the outside rear-view mirror, so he moved over and waved it past. However, the car hung back. Further down the hill, the Bugatti drew level with Hamilton, at which point he saw there was no one in it and realized it was his own car, which he had forgotten he was towing. A week after the 1953 Le Mans win, Hamilton drove to Oporto to prepare for the Portuguese Grand Prix at the Circuito da Boa Vista. He was leading into the first corner of the race when he crashed his Jaguar into an electricity pylon. He was thrown out of the car and into a tree, from which he fell down on the side of the circuit and was almost run over by a Ferrari. He was taken to hospital for an emergency operation. The accident cut off the power supply to Oporto for several hours. Hamilton sustained injuries during the 1958 24 Hours of Le Mans, while contesting the lead in his Jaguar D-Type, and then he was affected by the death of his friend Mike Hawthorne in early 1959. He retired from racing in 1959 and concentrated on his garage business in Byfleet. His love and passion for classic cars had led Hamilton to establish his own company back in 1948. Since then, Duncan Hamilton & Co. Limited have become internationally recognized specialists in historic cars. Hamilton co-wrote an autobiography called Touchwood. He died in Sherborne, Dorset. His son, Adrian Hamilton, a classic car dealer, ran his father's garage in another location until his own death in 2021. Hamilton's grandson, Archie Hamilton, is also a racing driver who competed in the 24 Hours of Le Mans in 2013 and 2014.